Welcome to Let the Quran Speak. I'm Safiyyah, your host. Every Ramadan, we are faced with the same challenges: dehydration, tiredness, irritability, digestive issues. But what if some of those could be solved with better nutrition? We'll be looking at that now. I'm with Nazima Qureshi. She's a nutrition expert. She's also the host of a new show, The Healthy Muslim Show. Nazima, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Nazima, how do we deal with these common problems that Muslims have every Ramadan? Like every person experiences, for example, tiredness, digestive issues, headaches, frustration, stress. How do we deal with these?
Yeah.
Let's maybe deal with one to begin with.
Absolutely.
Headaches.
Yeah,
Headaches start really early, right? The first day, for sure, you're going to get a headache.
Absolutely. And so that's the thing with fasting, it is definitely a challenge, but with a little bit of preparation, it could be a lot easier. And it's important for us to really focus on what's going on in that non-fasting window, which is really what's impacting the fast. So many people think it's the fast that's making you experience all of these, but no, the root cause is often what you're doing outside of that. So with headaches, so basically with all of these symptoms, there's usually a root cause and how we can address it. Headaches, often a common one is caffeine withdrawals, which you're experiencing the first week.
Yes, that's why we all get headaches in the first week.
Exactly. So if you have time beforehand, start reducing your caffeine intake before Ramadan. And so generally like a month in advance, that's what we do as a family. And even with our clients, we recommend start reducing caffeine and pushing it a little bit later. So for instance, if you're used to that 8 a.m. cup of coffee every single day, push it 15, 20 minutes every single day so that by the time we get to Ramadan, you're used to being without that caffeine at 8 a.m. One of the biggest mistakes you can do is literally like the week before you're still drinking that 8 a.m. coffee and then Ramadan starts and 8 a.m. you immediately have those caffeine withdrawals. So that's another common one. If those headaches continue throughout Ramadan, it's likely due to dehydration as well. So this is another thing where it's making sure you're getting enough of that water intake. Our fasts are starting to get shorter, which is great. And so it'll be easy to kind of map out your water intake in that non-fasting window.
So, I want to go back to the coffee thing because that's a really big thing for people. So when should we drink coffee during Ramadan? Should it be at suhoor in the early morning or should it be at iftar or some other time? Or should we just eliminate it altogether?
So there's different approaches. You could eliminate it if you'd like. Now, suhoor is actually going to be a little bit later. So you can actually have coffee at suhoor time and then continue to stay up. Before, suhoor would be like kind of the middle of the night and it'd feel weird to have coffee at that time. But now I think it's going to be around like maybe 5, 6 a.m. It's not too early in the middle of the night. So you could potentially have a cup of coffee at suhoor time. The problem with having coffee at iftar time, it's quite late in the evening and that could impact your quality of sleep. So I know some people will say, I can have a cup of coffee and go to sleep, but the quality of sleep would be impacted. So if you really need that cup of coffee, add it into your suhoor time.
Okay, let's talk about water now.
Yes.
How can we manage our water intake throughout the Ramadan day?
Yeah, so I find the first few days, it is challenging. It feels like you're not really thirsty, but really those first few days will really set up what the rest of your Ramadan looks like. One habit that I have is the second I wake up and I'm starting to prep, I will have my water bottle ready. So I'm sipping on water. You don't have to sit there chugging a bunch of water all at once, right? And that's not the ideal.
You're going to use the washroom.
Exactly. And using the washroom isn't necessarily a bad thing, but rather you're going to feel bloated. You're not going to have space to eat food. So just start sipping on your water. Ideally, you want anywhere from 500 to 750 ml in that suhoor time. And then when you break your fast, you want to have another 500 ml. And then you want to catch up on the remainder water in the evening. So that could look around 500 to a liter of water, and you should be good with your water intake.
Nazima, what about tiredness and irritability? Because those are big ones, right?
Yeah.
When you're not eating, you're hangry.
So there's a few things that could happen. One is if you're skipping that suhoor meal, right?
Yes.
So I get it because people have to wake up for school and work and it's like, I might as well just sleep through. I need to catch up on my sleep. But you're better off waking up for that suhoor meal. That is your last opportunity to nourish your body, give yourself some fuel. Otherwise, you're essentially doing a 24-hour fast. So you're making your fast harder than needed. So wake up for that suhoor meal. That will really help you throughout the day. And the first few days, you may not have a bit of that much of an appetite. So just have even half of your suhoor, have a few bites. You will find yourself a few days in, you're actually hungry at that time. So it's setting up those habits. And then later on also, so that irritability, how you eat the night before impacts your next day.
Okay.
Right? So I know there's a lot of family traditions where it's like late night, could be desserts, fried foods. you won't necessarily feel it there, but the next day, that's when all of those like low energy, brain fog, irritability really kicks in. So that nighttime, replace it with a healthier snack. So some fruits, nuts, some Greek yogurt, something more balanced, and that will really help you with your energy levels the next day.
And what foods would you recommend to maintain that energy throughout the day?
Yeah.
Both for suhoor and for iftar.
Yeah, absolutely. So suhoor, we want to replace any like simple carbs. So think cereal is probably one of the worst things because you're basically going to spike your blood sugar and it's going to come crashing down just as quick.
What about oatmeal?
So oatmeal would be better, but you want to still make sure there's protein with it. So something like Greek yogurt, eggs, some people like dinner food, so like some chicken, that could be okay. So make sure you're pairing that with the protein and then the water intake. At iftar as well, don't dive into those fried foods, right? We open our fast with the fried foods. That's going to impact how you feel the next day. Even the evening, right? We're trying to do extra prayers. You want to have energy. So break your fast with a little bit of dates, water, fruit. Go pray your maghrib and then have a more balanced meal.
Nazima, what about digestive issues? We eat late at night, right? Ramadan ends at sunset, or the fasting day ends at sunset. So we're eating late at night and then we go to sleep and, the stomach, we start having stomach pain, we need to use the washroom. And how do you deal with the bloating and everything that comes with fasting?
Yeah. So with digestive issues, it's kind of awkward. No one talks about it, but then everyone's going through it, right? So key things.
Because even for suhoor, like after you eat the morning meal, if you go back to sleep, it's very hard to sleep. Because,
exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing with suhoor. It's not about eating the most amount of food possible. If you have the right amounts, you don't have to eat a large quantity. But with digestive issues, so a few things that things are going well, you still want to have a daily bowel movement. And this does not happen for the average person. So a daily bowel movement means that everything's running smoothly. If it's not happening every single day, then that's when you're going to start experiencing bloating, discomfort as well. Often that is happening because of the high-fat foods and the large quantity of foods and not enough fiber. Okay.
And probably not enough water as well, right?
Not enough water as well. All of these things compounding together will really impact your bowel movements, and that will cause all of the bloating, the stomach aches as well. So instead, with the carbs, we don't want to cut it out completely, but reduce the portion, right? So rather than plates of rice paired with, our savory pastries, all of this really adds up. Choose one carb. That's one thing the recommendation is choose one carb, right? So you see the beautiful spread of food, mentally make a choice. So, hey, today, am I going to have the pasta? Am I going to have the rice? Am I going to have the bread? I think that's a good way to kind of go into it with a plan. The one thing to tell yourself is there's going to be food again the next day, right? We don't need to overeat every single night. So just choose one carb, no matter how many options there are, what's going on in your plate. So when you reduce that carb portion, that will really help. The other piece that's often missing is the vegetables. That's usually missing from the Ramadan spread. So if you can make a salad or even cooked veggies, whether it's a curry, that will increase the fiber, and then pair that with increased water will really help with those digestive issues.
Last piece of advice, Nazima, for somebody who's fasting, either for the first time or has been doing it for a long time, how do they make sure they have a nutritious, healthy Ramadan?
I think nutrition often gets a bad rap where it becomes so much about a diet and
it's like bland food.
Exactly, bland food. And so making small changes while keeping your culture can have a huge impact on having a more energized Ramadan. So we can do more ibadah, more worship, more community work, which is what Ramadan is all about.
Nazima, I'm so glad you joined us, and I want to encourage everybody to check out your new show, The Healthy Muslim Show, on our new YouTube channel.
Thanks so much.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Muslim Media Hub. There's so much that happens in this building.
This is where we produce the television show called Let the Quran Speak.
And there are podcasts, shows, and documentaries in progress.
As you can see, this building is very essential for the good work that we're doing. This is why we purchased it for $2 million.
We've already paid off about a third of this building.
And we have another $84,000 to pay this year.
We're looking for 84 kind souls to give $1,000 each. Can you be one of those people?
I hope you will, or give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
Thank you, and may Allah bless you and your loved ones this Ramadan and always.
Peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum.